Ladies, I want you to take a deep breath and really listen to me for a moment. If you are over the age of 60, and especially if you are in your 70s or beyond, there is something important we need to talk about today. It is not about heart disease. It is not about arthritis. It is not even about memory loss. It is about balance. Now, I know that might sound simple. Balance, right? But what if I told you that balance is one of the first things we start to lose as we age? And it does not just fade quietly. It slips away while we are busy living our lives, walking from the bedroom to the kitchen, getting out of a chair, stepping off a curb, until one day something unexpected happens. A stumble, a trip, a fall, and suddenly everything changes. Doctors are warning that over 99% of older women experience issues with balance, and here's the truth that shocked me. In most cases, it is not because of illness or bad luck. It is because of everyday mistakes. Small habits we do not even think about that slowly chip away at our stability. But here's the good news. You can do something about it. Today, I am going to walk you through 8 of the most common mistakes women over 60 make when it comes to balance. And more importantly, I will show you how to fix them. These are simple, practical changes that can make a powerful difference in your daily life. And please, stay with me all the way through. Because mistake number 8 is one that took me by surprise. And once I understood it, it changed the way I moved through the world. Mistake number 1, wearing the wrong shoes. Let's start from the ground up, literally. One of the most common mistakes that quietly steals our balance as we age is something so simple. Most of us don't even give it a second thought. It is the shoes we wear. Now, I'll be honest with you. For years, I loved my soft little ballet flats. They were easy to slip on, they looked cute with everything, and they made me feel a bit more dressed up even when I was just going to the grocery store. But what I didn't realize was that those shoes were giving me absolutely no support. None. As we age, our feet change in ways we don't expect. The fat pads that used to cushion every step we took, they start to thin out. The arches in our feet, they flatten. And the ligaments, they become looser. That means the shoes that once felt comfortable and dependable might actually be putting us at greater risk now. I remember one morning walking out to get the mail, and my foot caught the edge of the sidewalk just slightly. I didn't fall, thank goodness, but I stumbled hard and my heart just about jumped out of my chest. It wasn't because I wasn't paying attention. It was because my shoes had no grip, no support, and no business being on my feet. The right shoes, the kind we need after 60, are not about looking orthopedic or giving up style. These days, there are so many options that are both supportive and attractive. Look for shoes with a solid, non-slip sole, a cushioned insole, and good ankle support. A slight heel lift is okay, but stay far away from anything flat as a pancake or too narrow at the toes. And let me say this, those fluffy slippers we love to wear around the house, if they're not designed with a proper grip and support, they can be just as risky. Your home should be the safest place you walk, not the most dangerous. Think of your shoes like the tires on a car. No matter how strong the engine or how skilled the driver, if the tires are bald and slippery, you're going to be in trouble. Invest in the right pair of shoes. Your balance and your peace of mind depend on it. Mistake number 2, skipping strength training. Now let's talk about something that many women over 60 still think isn't for them. And that is strength training. I know. The word strength training might bring to mind pictures of sweaty people in gyms, lifting heavy weights, or posing in front of mirrors. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you need to become a bodybuilder or sign up for a fitness boot camp. What I am saying is this. If you are not actively working to maintain your muscle strength, you are slowly losing it. And that loss, it directly affects your balance, your ability to catch yourself when you trip, and even your confidence when walking on uneven ground. After the age of 50, we begin to lose muscle mass every single year. And most of us don't even realize it's happening until we start to notice small changes, needing two hands to get up from a chair, avoiding stairs, feeling wobbly on curbs. But here is the good news. You can build strength at any age. Truly. I did not step foot into a gym. I started right in my living room during commercial breaks on TV. I used soup cans as lightweights at first. I practiced on sitting and standing from a chair without using my hands. I did wall push-ups in the kitchen. A resistance band cost me less than $10 and it changed my entire routine. The goal is not to lift heavy. The goal is to be strong enough to support your own body, your legs to hold you steady, your arms to catch you if you slip, and your core to keep your body upright when you shift positions. One of the biggest myths we tell ourselves is that feeling unsteady is just a part of aging. It's not. Much of it comes from deconditioning. Our muscles simply aren't being used enough to do their job. And it doesn't take hours out of your week. Just 10 to 15 minutes, a few times a week, can make a real difference. Start slow, stay consistent, and celebrate every improvement. When I started strength training, I didn't just get stronger, I got braver. I walked with more ease. I stopped dreading stairs and uneven sidewalks. That feeling of strength, it's more than physical, it's emotional. It makes you feel capable again. It reminds you of who you still are. Mistake number 3, ignoring vision changes. This one caught me completely off guard because when we think about balance, we usually think about legs, feet, maybe the inner ear. But the truth is, our eyes play a major role in keeping us upright and steady. As we age, our vision changes, and not just in the I need stronger reading glasses kind of way. Our depth perception becomes less accurate. Our peripheral vision narrows. Our ability to see contrast, especially in low light, begins to fade. And the worst part is, it happens so gradually we don't even notice. I'll tell you a story. One night, I got up to use the bathroom. It was early, maybe 3 in the morning. I didn't want to turn on the hallway light because I didn't want to wake my husband. So I tiptoed out in the dark like I had 100 times before. But this time, I missed the edge of a rug. My foot caught. I fell hard on my knee, and it hurt for days. Turns out, my glasses prescription hadn't been updated in nearly 4 years. I'd just been making do. Squinting a little more, turning my head a little slower, I chalked it up to aging, but really, I was making things much harder for myself and much more dangerous. After that fall, I saw my eye doctor and got new lenses. I also made a few changes around the house, brighter lighting in the hallways, small night lights in the bathroom and kitchen, and better contrast on the stairs. I even added anti-glare coating to my lenses, which helped me tremendously with depth perception at night. Balance is not just about the body, it's also about how your brain understands the space around you. And if your vision is fuzzy, your brain can't accurately tell your body where it is. So here's my advice from one woman to another. If your glasses are scratched or outdated, replace them. If your home is dim, brighten it. If something looks off with your sight, get it checked. Do not wait for a fall to tell you something's wrong. Your eyes are your guide. Help them help you stay steady. Mistake number 4, not paying attention to medication side effects. Let me begin this one with a little honesty. I used to take whatever the doctor gave me and not ask a single question. If you're like me, you probably grew up in a time when you didn't second guess a doctor's orders. We respected them, trusted them, and that trust is important, but so is something else. Listening to your body. Let me tell you what happened to me. A few years ago, I was prescribed a new medication for my blood pressure. My doctor said it might help with some of the dizzy spells I'd been having. I took it just like I was told. But a few days in, I started feeling off. Not sick, not dizzy exactly, just strange. Like the room tilted slightly when I stood up, like I had one glass of wine too many, even though I hadn't touched a drop. At first, I brushed it off, told myself I was tired, maybe a little dehydrated. But then one evening, I got up from the couch and stumbled into the coffee table. Didn't fall, thank goodness, but it gave me a jolt. That moment, standing there, heart racing, hands shaking, was a wake-up call. I went to the medicine box, turned it over, and read the fine print I had ignored the first day. It said, may cause dizziness or lightheadedness, especially when standing. Right there in black and white. But no one had mentioned it, and I hadn't thought to ask. Here's what I learned. As we age, our bodies process medications differently. A dose that worked just fine at age 50 might be too strong at 70. And when you're taking multiple prescriptions, like so many of us are, they can interact in ways that make balance harder to maintain. It's not that the medications are bad. Many of them save lives. But we need to be aware of how they make us feel. So I went back to my doctor and I told him everything. He listened, adjusted the dose, and within days the dizziness faded. No more mystery stumbles. No more second guessing myself every time I stood up. So here's my advice to you. Keep a notebook. Write down how you feel after starting a new medication. If something doesn't feel right, even if it's small, a little off balance, a bit foggy, unusually tired, bring it up. And bring a full list of everything you're taking, including over-the-counter pills and supplements. Sometimes it's not just one drug, it's how they interact. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to feel steady in your own body. And adjusting something small might just protect you from a much bigger fall. Mistake number 5, holding on to furniture instead of using proper support. This one is deeply personal. For the longest time, I was what I call a wall walker. You know what I mean? One hand on the back of a chair, another on the edge of a counter, grabbing door frames, leaning on furniture, inching your way from one safe spot to the next. I convinced myself I didn't need a cane. I was just being careful, independent, strong. But the truth is, I was scared. I was scared of what it would mean to use a cane or a walker, scared of looking old, scared of giving up some imaginary idea of youth and strength, and so I risked my safety every single day. One afternoon, I was walking from the laundry room to the living room, arms full of folded towels. I didn't have a hand free to steady myself, and wouldn't you know it, my foot caught on absolutely nothing. Just a moment of imbalance. I lurched sideways and barely caught myself against a table. I didn't fall, but I could have. And that was the day I stopped pretending. Here's what I want you to hear. Grabbing onto furniture is not a safe long-term strategy. It might get you across the room today, but tomorrow you might miss. Furniture isn't built for support. It moves. It's slippery. It's not where you need it when you need it. And leaning on it doesn't make you more independent. It makes you more vulnerable. So I went out and found a cane that felt like me. It was lightweight, had a comfortable grip, and I'll admit it had the prettiest floral pattern you've ever seen. I brought it home, took a deep breath, and started using it in public. And you know what happened? Nothing. Nobody pointed. Nobody laughed. In fact, people were kinder, held doors for me, gave me space. I felt more confident, not less, more upright, not hunched, more in control, not out of balance. A cane, a walker, even walking poles, they're not signs of defeat. They're signs of wisdom, of taking your safety seriously, of refusing to let fear of judgment put you in danger. If you find yourself reaching out for countertops or clutching furniture more than you'd like to admit, it might be time to stop resisting and start truly supporting yourself. There is dignity in every step you take with intention. Do not let pride rob you of your independence. Mistake number 6, avoiding balance exercises. This is the one I didn't even know existed until I stumbled into it, quite literally. I had heard of stretching. I had done a little yoga, but I had never once in my life thought about doing something specifically to train my balance. I thought balance was just something you had or you lost. But it turns out balance is like any other skill. You can practice it, you can improve it, you can even rebuild it. I joined a local senior wellness class at the community center. I thought it would be soft music and gentle movements. Instead, the instructor, a strong, lovely woman in her 70s, introduced us to balance training. I remember raising my eyebrows. I didn't even know such a thing existed. She had us stand on one foot, shift our weight from side to side, walk heel to toe in a straight line across the room. At first, it was harder than it looked. My ankles wobbled, my legs shook, but I stuck with it. Just 10 minutes a day. And something amazing happened. After 2 weeks, I felt steadier. After a month, I stood taller. After 2 months, I didn't reach for the back of the chair when I stood up from the sofa. And one morning, without even realizing it, I danced a little while waiting for the coffee to brew. That's when I knew something had changed. We often wait until after a fall to think about balance. But don't wait. You can train your body, even in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, to be more stable, more responsive, more coordinated. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a gym membership. All you need is a bit of space, a little time, and the willingness to begin. Balance training can be as simple as standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, practicing heel-to-toe walking along a hallway, doing slow, controlled leg lifts while holding onto the back of a chair, and most importantly, stay consistent. 5 to 10 minutes a day can bring you more confidence than you've had in years. The best part? Balance training gives you peace of mind. You walk out the front door with your head high, your steps sure, and your spirit strong. We talk a lot about independence as we age, but nothing keeps you independent quite like good balance. It is the foundation beneath everything else. Your ability to cook, clean, shop, walk, and live on your own terms. So don't think of balance exercises as one more thing to add to your to-do list. Think of them as a gift you give to your future self. A small act of love that pays off every single day. Mistake number 7, ignoring the fear of falling. Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. Even if it is just in your heart, have you ever walked a little slower, hesitated at the top of the stairs, or stayed home instead of going out simply because you were afraid of falling? If your answer is yes, I want you to know this. You are not alone. Many of us carry this quiet fear. We do not talk about it, not even to our closest friends, but it sits in the back of our minds, whispering things like, "Be careful, don't risk it," or "What if you fall and no one's there?" Here is what makes that fear tricky. It feels like it is keeping us safe, but in reality, it often does the opposite. When we are afraid of falling, we tense up, our muscles tighten, our steps become smaller, our posture more hunched. We walk with hesitation instead of confidence. And that fear, that tension, actually makes us more likely to lose our balance. It is a cycle I know well because I have lived it. I used to second-guess every uneven sidewalk. I would avoid walking in the grass or stepping off a curb. I didn't feel steady, not because my legs were too weak, but because I was too anxious to trust them. But here's what helped me break the cycle. I started small. I began by walking with a friend. I practiced deep breathing before stepping out the door. I spoke gently to myself like I would to a loved one, reminding myself that my body was capable and that I was allowed to take up space in the world, one careful, confident step at a time. I also started doing short meditations, just 5 minutes a day, focusing on calming my breath and quieting the what-ifs in my mind. And slowly I began to feel different, not just more balanced physically, but braver inside. If you are living with a fear of falling, please hear me. That fear does not define you. It is a feeling, not a fact. And with a little help, strength exercises, balance training, maybe even talking to someone you trust, you can move through it. The goal is not to be fearless. The goal is to walk through fear with grace and wisdom. And believe me, that's a kind of strength no one can take away from you. Mistake number 8, not getting enough sleep. This last one surprised me, and it might surprise you too. We think of sleep as rest, a way to recharge our energy. But what most people do not realize is that sleep is one of the most powerful tools for balance. When we do not sleep well, our reflexes slow down, our coordination suffers, even our ability to focus on where our body is in space becomes foggy. And that fog, it leads to stumbles, missteps, and accidents that could have been prevented with just one more hour of good rest. I noticed it myself. On nights when I tossed and turned, the next day I felt clumsy, distracted, just a little off. I would bump into the corner of the kitchen island, miss the last stair on the porch, or feel wobbly getting out of bed. It wasn't until I started prioritizing sleep that I saw a real difference in how I moved through my day. Getting better sleep isn't about perfection. It is about gentle, consistent habits that help your body feel safe enough to fully rest. Here's what helped me. Turning off screens at least an hour before bed. Having a cup of warm herbal tea, chamomile or lemon balm. Reading something light and calming instead of watching the news. Keeping my bedroom cool, quiet, and dark. And most importantly, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Sleep gives your brain time to process movement patterns. It resets your inner balance systems. It restores muscles. It even helps your eyes and ears coordinate better. So if you've been feeling off balance and you cannot figure out why, start with your sleep. It might just be the missing piece you never considered. A message from the heart. Now, if you have made it this far, I want to take a moment to speak to you directly, not just as someone on a screen, but as a woman who cares deeply about your well-being. We have covered 8 important things that can quietly take away your balance. The wrong shoes, skipping strength work, letting vision slide, ignoring side effects, holding on to furniture, skipping balance training, living in fear, and not getting enough rest. And the truth is, none of these are your fault. They happen slowly, quietly, and for years, no one talks about them. But the power is in your hands now. You do not need to change everything overnight. You do not need to be perfect, but what you can do is start one step at a time, one choice at a time. Even just becoming more aware of these mistakes puts you ahead of where you were yesterday. The goal is not just to avoid a fall. The goal is to walk through life with more steadiness, more peace, more confidence, to feel safe in your own body, to wake up and know that you can handle what the day brings. And I want you to know this. You deserve that. You deserve to feel strong and supported and seen. If you found something helpful in this video, something that made you feel understood or reminded you of your own strength, would you do me a small favor? Leave a comment below. Let me know which of these 8 surprised you most, or which one you're going to work on first. I read every single message, and your words mean more than you know.